We shall now continue with another Europe-based civil society organization, RESCOP, which stands for Red Solidaria Contra la Ocupación, Palestina. Its spokesperson, Ms. Alys Samson Estapi, is here with us today. She is a sociologist, a feminist, and anti-racist activist. She was the European coordinator of the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions in Israel movement, and is a member of the board of NOVACT, which defends life and freedoms in the Euro-Mediterranean region and promotes a fair and lasting peace through the strengthening of civil societies in conflict prevention. Alys focuses on the corporate abuse in the occupied Palestinian territory. Madame, you have the floor.
Thank you. Dear colleagues and distinguished delegates, today I bring the voice of hundreds of thousands from Spain who say, enough complicity, enough deceit. In March 2025, the Spanish Prime Minister described the massacre of 400 Palestinians killed in a single day as sad, atrocious, unacceptable. What is also sad, atrocious, and unacceptable is that Spain still maintains military ties with Israel. Over the preceding months, Spain exported military parts to Israel and imported bombs and grenades worth millions of euros. This lays bare a deep contradiction. While condemning atrocities, the Spanish government continues to arm, finance, and sustain the culprit. Despite government claims, Spain has never suspended military ties with Israel. Transfers, imports, exports, arms fares, they all continue. Since autumn 2023, Spain has acquired Israeli weapon systems worth over 1 billion euros, part of an arms trade that continues despite Israel's occupation, apartheid, sustained ethnic cleansing, and genocide of the Palestinian people. Ships carrying weapons and military equipment for Israel continue to pass through Spanish ports. These vessels, moving with secrecy and impunity, have transported military vehicles and components for warplanes of the same type used by Israel in Gaza. Spain has stood out for its criticism of Israel's military attacks on the Gaza Strip, yet this position contrasts sharply with its long-standing military and diplomatic ties to Israel. Research shows that these ties have intensified. The arms trade and cooperation are more active than ever. Without any doubt, Spain is complicit in Israel's genocidal apartheid regime. What you finance, you support. Over the last 19 months, hundreds of thousands have filled the streets in more than 100 cities across Spain, demanding an end to the arms trade and military cooperation with Israel. Last Saturday, 100,000 people from across Spain filled the streets of Madrid to demand the government to cut all ties. The people will not stop until justice is served. Meanwhile, the level of violence and destruction in Gaza is beyond words. Experts estimate the real death toll is far higher than official figures. This is not a war. It is a genocide carried out by a settler colonial regime that enforces apartheid through mass killing, forced displacement, starvation, and siege. The world's legal and moral obligations are clear. Denunciation without action is mere rhetoric that allows oppression to persist. Spain must end all forms of complicity in Israel's egregious actions, and those responsible must be held to account. RESCOP, the Solidarity Network Against the Occupation of Palestine, has coordinated Palestine solidarity efforts in Spain for over 20 years. Today, it plays a central role in building pressure to end Spain's complicity in Israel's settler colonial regime of illegal occupation, genocide, and apartheid. Through the Stop the Arms Trade with Israel campaign, RESCOP has brought together over 600 organizations across the country to make complicity impossible to deny or maintain. We have built this pressure through sustained strategic action, coordinating monthly mobilizations in dozens of cities, engaging with workers who have refused to handle weapon shipments bound for Israel, relentlessly exposing every military agreement, launching legal actions, and working with researchers and media to expose government lies. Last July, we registered a draft law at the Spanish Parliament that, if passed, would directly apply an arms embargo on Israel. We are building a movement that is broad and impossible to silence. Since we launched the campaign in November 2023, this pressure has resulted in key victories. 3 ships have been turned away from Spanish ports. 2 more ships changed course in face of public outcry. Israel was excluded from Spain's largest arms fair. On April 26, Spain announced the cancellation of an already formalized €5.5 million ammunition deal with Israeli arms manufacturer IMI Systems. These are small but significant cracks, proof that pressure works and that governments can move when people organize and rise up. But it is not enough. We cannot keep going ship by ship, contract by contract. We need structural, legal, policy change that translates obligations under international law into formal, binding and lasting measures to end complicity. That means adopting a comprehensive military embargo. No exports, no imports, no transit, no cooperation, no contracts. This must cover weapons, military material, and dual-use surveillance and border technologies. Given the atrocities Israel has been committing since 1948 throughout Palestine, an arms embargo is the bare minimum, a legal and moral obligation. Israel not only uses repression against Palestinians, it exports it to the world. It is a laboratory of death where systems of surveillance and killing are tested on Palestinians, then marketed globally as combat tested. In Spain, we know this all too well. Pegasus spyware, developed by an Israeli company, was used to attack civil society, journalists, and politicians. What's tested on Palestinians is exported to harm us all. The call for a total arms embargo on Israel comes from Palestine, from Palestinian civil society, from survivors, from those held captive in Israeli jails, from those who live under occupation and bombardment every day. We are here to amplify their call, because it is not only theirs, it is a call of humanity. Israel's crimes are crimes against humanity. It is a universal moral imperative. At a time when many states are increasing military spending, Spain included, we are here to say that this is not the path to peace, justice, or security. The world needs investment in health, education, and social justice, not more weapons. Spain, of course, is not alone in its complicity. The European Union as a whole maintains deep political, economic, and military ties with Israel, including the EU-Israel Association Agreement, which grants Israel privileged access despite apartheid and war crimes. The EU is an enabler, complicit in maintaining the very structures of apartheid and occupation. We have the power and the duty to act. Governments must redirect resources away from destruction and towards life. Dismantling the structures of war also means building the foundations of peace with justice and dignity. Today, here from the United Nations, we demand the Spanish government impose a total arms embargo on Israel now. End all form of military collaboration now. Abandon the supply chain of genocide now. A Spanish arms embargo is essential, but it must be applied by all governments. What we demand of Spain, we also demand of the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, France, and beyond. This is not only about the security of Palestine, it is about the security of all humanity. Whether you pull the trigger, sell the gun, or open the door to let the weapon through, you are part of the chain. You are complicit. Every arms shipment to Israel deepens complicity with genocide, and there is no justification possible. We know arms embargoes work. The arms embargo on apartheid South Africa played a key role in ending the regime. The same must happen now. The international community must not wait. There are no legal obstacles. All that is missing is the political will to act. We should not have to remind UN member states of the international legal obligations to take action to prevent genocide. As you all know, the International Court of Justice, in its 2024 advisory opinion, reaffirmed the illegality of Israel's occupation, described it as apartheid, and reaffirmed the states must not assist or uphold it. That includes halting arms transfers and military cooperation that risk enabling the ongoing atrocities. Spain is failing in its duty to prevent genocide and live up to its declarations. in the face of the terrifying rise of the far right everywhere. Governments that claim to be progressive must now, more than ever, move beyond rhetoric and demonstrate principled leadership. Governments have a choice: continue financing the machinery of death or stand up for life, peace, dignity, and justice. The choice is simple. The time is now to decide on which side of history you stand. End the flow of weapons. Arms embargo on Israel now. End the complicity now. Viva Palestina libre. Thank you.